Microsoft and Sony. Sony just dropped a couple of live service games that they're not going to continue. They canceled them. And Microsoft is continuously dropping people off the payroll and cutting more jobs. They need to figure out what they need to do down the road to continue to sustain some type of success, which looks like on the Microsoft side, that's not really happening. I'll talk about that in a minute. To continue to move on in pushing better games overall. Now, we got a lot of third-party games that are doing pretty well. Some games that are actually, blowing up bigger than they should because of people are really figuring out what type of games they are. But when you're looking at the first-party games on Microsoft and Sony, they're really hurting right now. And just like I said earlier, they're cutting some games, like Blue Point canceled 2 games. Microsoft is making job cuts. And, we're looking at the situation with Xbox. We don't know what's going to happen with their console situation, because their console situation has been abysmal for the last, maybe, 2, 3, 4, 10 years now, where they're like not making a profit off of any of their hardware. It's kind of crazy. Now, Nintendo just put out the blueprint yet again on how to make things successful. No, I'm not talking about the handheld per se, which I know, like I heard that Sony and Microsoft are getting back into that possibly. So not necessarily that, but just making good first party games so people could really feel like they have some type of flagship at the leadership or the flagship of their console. I'm all over the place. It's very simple. Sony need to that has all those IPs they use with Astrobot. A bunch of first party IPs what they need to use. Microsoft, not so much, but they can make things happen depending on what they can create if they let their developers create in the art direction, create things. When you look at Nintendo, the Switch 2 is about to come out. What did they put out with that trailer? A possible, a leak, or I ain't gonna say leak, but a possible preview of Mario Kart 9. That pretty much looked like Mario Kart 9, but it just goes to show you that they're continuing to push their first party ideas, and who doesn't do it better than Nintendo? Nintendo has been doing it forever and been doing a fantastic job going all the way back to the NES. Hell, you could probably even go back, even before that, when it was on Atari, when it was a third party, a third party company, and they put Mario Brothers on their Atari. It goes that far back where Nintendo continuously, Super Nintendo, N64, GameCube, Wii U. I mean, even with the consoles that don't live up to the hype, they still push excellent first party games to the point where now people were clamoring and up in arms about this Donkey Kong Returns, was it Donkey Kong Returns or HD or something like that? I don't know. I bought it for my son for his birthday, and I realized even though I have the game on the Wii, I think it plays much better on the Switch. I mean, we've been having a blast playing it because, like you had to use not the Joy-Cons, but the Wii remote for the other one, and that one was kind of janky. But the way you play it with the Switch, phenomenal, excellent, absolutely. Me and my son has been enjoying it. But like I said, once again, Nintendo gets it right. And I don't understand how Sony, even though they did put out Astrobot, they can make 10 or 15 more different type of those games, not just the format of Astrobot, but just those first-party titles, if they just branch those back out of the Astrobot universe and just make games out of them. They can make them cheaper, they can make them more efficient, and they can start rolling in a profit where they not have to worry about making $200, $300, $400 million games and trying to, recoup that money. In every type of business, and I'm not no business major or nothing like that, but, business 101, you see this all over the place. If you need to make a profit, sometimes you have to start small to make profit. Sometimes you have to try to, quote unquote, reinvent the wheel to start getting back on that train where you can make profits again. A lot of these games were so expensive, they're not making their money back. Sometimes you have to double back down and start at the bottom again. And like I said, at least with Sony, they got so many ways to make their IPs grow and flourish. I mean, just go look back to your PlayStation 2 days. Look at your PlayStation 3 days. I mean, hell, this is not necessarily a Sony game, I don't think, but I think Insomniac is but in-house developer. You can make another Ratchet and Clank. No, that's not very popular because the last Ratchet and Clank probably didn't do that well. You know, I mean, I don't know. I know they put it on PC, but you can just go back to the basics and start all over again with something just as simple as a smaller version of Ratchet and Clank, somewhere like you did with Astrobot, and put it in that universe of Ratchet and Clank under that format and make some money off of it. You got to start somewhere, even when you backtrack, or you have to start over. I mean, that's just how it is. Now, also, with Microsoft, I don't know what they're going to do with Halo. Everything that looks like with Halo don't look too good. Forza and all the other IPs, they're basically saying, look, we're just going to branch out to other stuff. Maybe that will help them in the long run as far as making, you know, profits, because that looks like that's the way that they've been doing it when it comes to Game Pass and, you know, other type of software. They've been making way more money off the software and the services over the actual, you know, hardware, which is absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But at the end of the day, you have to make sure you're putting that stuff out there so people can consume it, so people can purchase it, or even have that interaction where, you know, they're downloading it on Game Pass and it works out for you in the long run. I don't think Microsoft is necessarily hurting. I don't think Sony is hurting either. But when it comes to the quality of games, you got a company like Nintendo is showing you the way to, how to make it work, where you can get your software and your hardware pushed to the forefront, where you're making hella profit on both ends, where you're looking like now, I don't know the numbers when it comes to any of these companies, but I know Microsoft is hurting on the hardware side, and Sony is just not putting much of anything out right now. I mean, we saw it, maybe 8-9 months ago when they said that there's not going to be much put out in the year, you know, 2025 or 2024 or something like that. And a lot of their first party stuff is just stagnant right now. It kind of sucks because we should be in a situation where we got a lot of games that should be coming out from these companies, especially first party. And I get it, third party is running the world right now, in my opinion, with the games. And you're not in a situation where you're like in a drought for games. I mean, it's a pretty cool situation. But to be innovative, you may have to start over again and make some things happen and reinvent the wheel. I mean, it's not hard to do. It just takes some discipline and some financial, you know, backing to do so. And I mean, both of these companies, they clearly can do it. But it just seems like, look, we're just going to go with a model that can get us money as quick as possible, even if it's in a situation where we're possibly going to lose money in the process. In some cases, we may need to cut some things and not, you know, go a certain direction because we're not able to make things happen. And, you know, at the end of the day, that's fine. However you want to do it, that's cool. It's nothing wrong with that. Just as a gamer, I'm looking at a situation where I want the games from all three parties. You know, even PC has like some PC stuff that's out right now that I'm actually liking. Like I was playing Freedom Planet, you know, 2. I didn't even know that game exists, you know, a while back. And just some games on PC that are actually working out very well on the PC side of things. So that fourth platform is actually, you know, pretty cool. But at the end of the day, will they decide to take notes? I doubt it. It would be good to see, but I'm not sure how they're going to be able to do it, because it looks like they're in a situation where they're just kind of stuck in their ways, even though that some things don't work and they try to move things around and do this, that, and third. They're still in a position where they're going to try to move in that direction regardless. I don't know, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think. I'm just going to sit back. I'm going to watch some football. I guess the football game is on right now. And I'm going to play some video games and chill out, because it's just been a great, you know, start of the week for me. It's pretty cold, but hey, I'm in the house and chilling. And hopefully I'll continue the week this way, because, you know, it's awesome. So we'll see how it goes. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this topic. And I'm going to be out of here. All right, y'all, I'm out. Peace.